Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. Very happy to be here with you as sports meets that thing called life. And it is always my honor and my privilege to be able to showcase the fantastic people from all around the world that we get to talk to. Over 300 guests have graced, 3,000, I should say, have graced the stage of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And I am very honored when it comes to Syracuse football alumni. We have a lot of them all throughout the years, decades on the show. McKinley Bear Williams III. I'm a big fan. I've been a big fan. We spoke when he was getting recruited. We spoke when he was coming into Syracuse. I followed him while he was there, and I felt like we were going to have Bear forever because it seemed like we got some extra time with McKinley, and now he's off to the NFL, and I'm sad, but I'm happy. I'm sad that he's not going to be out doing his thing in orange and blue, but I'm happy for him that the NFL did the right thing and gave him an opportunity. So with that being said, McKinley, how we doing?
Doing all right, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And can you believe that the first time that we talked in your recruitment and we're here now, did it feel like this time went? I mean, I feel like this went by in about 15 seconds. What does it feel like for you?
Man, I would agree the same, man. I would say during the process, it was a little bit of a journey, but just being on the other side of this thing, man, it feels like yesterday.
McKinley, everybody calls you Bear. For those who don't know, why did you get that name and why did it stick?
Well, Bear is actually my birth name. My grandmother gave me as soon as I was born in the hospital. And I guess ever since then, I just sort of grew into that name on the field as well as off the field. So shout out to Grandma for that.
And what's Grandma's first name?
Grandma's first name is Cynthia.
So shout out to Cynthia. I am a grandma's boy in all stretch of the imagination. Love both of my grandmas, now up in heaven. And my G-mama, my mom's mom, best person I know ever in the history of mankind. So I want to shout out Cynthia. She gave you that name. It has stuck forever. So tell me what is so special about Grandma.
Oh, man, she is just the kindest person, selfless, always puts others before herself, and is just a great leader and just showing how to treat people how you want to be treated, just following that golden rule. So she's definitely been an advocate for that. And
we talk about there's so many great things to celebrate when it comes to Grandma. Besides Cynthia giving you your name, Bear, what's the best piece of advice she's ever said to you?
Best piece of advice. I would say the best piece of advice is just to be responsible, be where you're supposed to be and be where you're supposed to be on time. She was really big on that. So I would say that's the biggest piece of advice she's given me.
And she's told you to always be on time. Do you feel like you've done a good job of that?
Yes, sir. Definitely. I think about it all the time, whether it's meeting rooms, whether it's just event with some of my teammates, just being either 10 minutes early or just, in position whenever it's time to get something done.
And looking back on your time at Syracuse with the Orange, I talk about, it feels like, we've had you forever and we were going to keep having you because you were there for 6 seasons, played in 2016, 17, 18, redshirted in 19, and then came back in 20 and then got the bonus season from COVID in 2021. Did you ever imagine the fact that you would be at a school for 6 years and that I can't imagine anybody thinking that they would get an extra season of eligibility, but looking back on it, having 6 seasons at Syracuse, just what that meant to you to have such a unique experience?
Man, every year at Syracuse was truly a blessing. I did not think I would be there as long as I have. And, just seeing guys who came after me and leave before me was like mind-blowing, going through those things. But yeah, every year was a blessing. That COVID year, and medical redshirt year, just really taking full opportunity, building relationships with my professors, getting to know people all the staff at Syracuse, you know, janitors, media people. It's just been a blessing, my time at Syracuse.
That coming from McKinley Bear Williams the third here with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in this special spotlight with Bear. You mentioned getting to know people at Syracuse, and you said something which I know that my grandparents are connecting with me from heaven right now. We talked about Grandma Cynthia, made me talk about my grandmothers and my G Mama specifically. You just said I got to know a lot of people at Syracuse, including janitors. My grandfather, my grandpa Gavino, G Mama's husband, his last job was a janitor. He was a business owner of 3 businesses, and he said his favorite job was being a janitor at a high school because he got to know the kids and he got to help the kids. You just mentioned the fact that you didn't just get to know fans and your teammates, but that you got to know everybody, including janitors. And I feel like it's no mistake that you said that word. Why is it so important for you to treat everybody equally? And why was it important for you to even go and talk to a janitor?
Man, that's amazing. I just feel like, you know, everyone who's wearing that edge, and, you know, it's a big operation. And, you know, in football, it's always, you know, about the little things, the details, and just, you know, walking into a clean building every morning, and just those little things, it makes the operation smoother. And, you know, it's a lot of moving different pieces to come together as this puzzle to, you know, create this big masterpiece. And, you know, just building those relationships and working together as a team, really, it makes an impact. You may not notice it, but it definitely makes an impact.
Most people don't say hi to the grounds people. They don't say hi to the janitors. What have you learned from reaching out and saying hi to everybody?
I mean, we're all human. We're all working towards a common goal, whatever goal that may be. We're all striving to do something. So, you know, just saying good morning. It doesn't matter who you are or who's above who. You know, at the end of the day, we're all the same. And I just feel like everyone should be treated with respect, no matter who you are. Even if you're a little kid or elderly, you know, just treat everyone with kindness and respect.
Is that something that your family just instilled in you from the beginning? Like, how would you describe your family come up and the atmosphere? Because number one, thank you. We need you to be multiplied all over this world right now to show it what it's supposed to be. How did you become this way? What would you attribute that to?
Yeah, I definitely would say just growing up, my background. Our family is really formal and just old school way of teaching, you know, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, those type of things. So I would say just growing up in that type of environment just allowed me to, you know, apply those things in the real world, even as a young kid. And I would just say it just stuck with me. You know, parenting definitely goes a long way in that. And I appreciate those. Even not mom and dad, just some of the coaches I've had and teachers and things like that who've also held me to that standard.
You know, and you talk about coaches and whatnot. You spent your time at Dillard High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Florida is the second home for me in general, and it's the second home of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and I get to do a lot of work down there. So bring me into Dillard High School. You weren't just a football player. You were a member of the wrestling team as well. So McKinley, I wouldn't want to see you on the football field on the other side of me. I most certainly would not like to see you in close quarters in a wrestling situation. So when you wrestle a bear, normally people lose. And how many people lost to this bear?
I would say my record would be 49-1. I made it all the way to states my senior year. Sadly, I lost. But, you know, every match, it was great. Good sportsmanship on the other side. And just really just that one-on-one experience to where it's like, yeah, it's a team sport, but at the same time, it's more individual. And just, you know, knowing that, okay, I want to get these points for my team. I don't want to let my team down. it was definitely a fun experience wrestling.
49-1 record. Who's the one that got you?
It was I can't remember his name, but I want to say it was from a school named Dwyer, I believe. Yeah, he was about the same size as me, maybe a little bigger. And you know, most of heavyweight class, it's not a lot of technique. It's more just out muscling the other guy. But man, this guy definitely had his technique down pat. And just that day, he was the better wrestler.
So you go onto the football field and you know how to wrestle well and be very productive. How do they help out one another? And how has this bear, who, like I said, normally when you wrestle a bear, you always lose. So bring me onto the football field and why wrestling has made you such an effective defensive lineman.
Oh man, just the aggression, attention to detail, a lot of leverage. You definitely want to stay low. In wrestling, you're always low. Either you're shooting for ankles, that single leg or double leg takedown. And there's a lot of hand fighting, a lot of hand movement. So just applying that over to the football field, it really goes hand in hand. And wrestling, my wrestling coach specifically did a great job in conditioning. So it all goes hand in hand, wrestling and football.
And so here with McKinley Bear Williams III on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in this spotlight on McKinley going from Syracuse to the NFL. Going back to your time at Syracuse, when you came in, you played as a true freshman. You played back in 2016. You played in all 12 games. You got a start that season as well as a true freshman. Coming out, what was it about your game and your work ethic? What would you attribute to the fact that you played in every single game as a true freshman and that you were able to start a game, which is incredible? And you had your first career sack as well against Louisville back on September 9th of 2016.
Yeah, that was amazing. I'm gonna definitely start with the sack first. And Lamar Jackson, an incredible athlete, who knew who would be the person he is today. So getting that as my first sack, man, it just definitely spoke volume to myself and definitely pushed me to hold myself to a higher standard. And just playing in every game, starting in every game as a freshman, it was really just about the front seven and those guys back there in the DB core, just not wanting to let them down. We had an older team, Zaire Franklin as a captain and Chris Slayton, and just having those guys, being around them in the locker room, working out with Chris Slayton, fellow D lineman. It was really like, okay, yeah, I'm young and I have this opportunity. My head's spinning. I'm still trying to learn a lot of things, but at the end of the day, when I step on that field, I know I have my brothers there and, just giving my all and, not to let the man down who's fighting there next to me.
And you went on from that and you played in 12 games in 2017 and in 12 games in 2018. You go from one start in 2016 to 5 in 2017 to 9 in 2018. So number one, you were consistent. You played in all games and you kept increasing your starting opportunities. So bring me into the progression from 2016 to 2018 and why you feel like you consecutively were trusted by the coaches from game to game. And then on top of that, that they believed in you more and more to start and to be the person that's out there from the jump.
It's really just putting in those hours. You don't win the game on Friday, Saturday. The game is won, during the week, at the start of the week. So just coming in and working with the trainers, watching film, after I'm done with classes, heading back to the facility just to get some more film, sit down one-on-one with coaches and really try to understand the concept of the defense and understand what our opponent is doing. It definitely would say put some trust in not only myself with the coaches, but also my trust in the coaches that I know that they're going to put us in the best situation to make plays and win the game. And really just spending that one-on-one time definitely helped in my progression between each year of the season.
In 2019, it was a redshirt season. You played in 3 games and were able to redshirt there. You went out with a foot injury, missing the first 9 games of the season. Bring me into how you handled that adversity and why you wanted to play those last 3 games of the season instead of just staying out the whole year.
Man, big shout out to the training staff and the strength and conditioning staff. He's a head trainer now, Brandon. Big shout out to him, Coach E. You know, those guys every day, man. It was like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. Seeing my teammates go out every week and competing, and me not being able to, you know, contribute to that. It was definitely hard, but just coming in every day, working, rehabbing. And those guys set up an awesome plan for me to get back healthy, just working along with them. When I just had that, I felt, you know, good enough to step out on that field, and the doctors gave me that go-ahead. Instead of just sitting out, I was like, you know what, these guys have been working hard all year, and even if I can give them just 1% of what I have, you know, I'm going to give them my all. So it was definitely important for me to try to end that year right and send those seniors off with a win.
And then you move on from there, and in 2020, you started all 11 games at nose tackle for the team in the year that only had 11 games overall. And then you played in 11 this past season in 2021. So you steadily increase the amount of time that you're out there and how many times you start in those first 3 seasons. You bounce back from injury, and then your final 2 years at Syracuse, you're out there, you're starting, and you literally have gone on an incline your entire college career. I know you talked about, shout out to the staff and everybody that's helped you to get there, and the strength and conditioning staff and rehab and whatnot. When you look to your game itself, McKinley, why have you only gotten better and become more and more of a threat out there, in your opinion?
Big shout out to the man upstairs. All praise to the Most High. And really just a big thing of that. Ken Jones, he preached to us. He said, treat every year like it's your first year. So, you know, freshman year, you come in, you're locked in, you're taking notes, you're watching film, you're doing all the little extra things. Okay, and you may have some success. And then the next year you have a little bit more success. You can't let that success deteriorate your work ethic or change up anything, and you can't get complacent. So really just taking every year and treating it like it's my first year, my first opportunity, and taking advantage of every single day, I guess allowed me to have that success on the field.
You talked about your faith. I told you before we got started, I love the t-shirt, Chase God. Number one, where did you get the t-shirt? Where can I get one? And secondly, bring me into your faith and the importance of it.
So my D-line coach at the Colts, he gave us these t-shirts upon letting us go for big. And it was just really just, you know, the message speaks for itself. You know, it's a lot of things going on in this world, and it may be hard to lose faith, and you may be, you know, trying to, I guess, chase a certain goal or force things that maybe not need to be forced. You know, at the end of the day, you just got to just really put your focus on him and, you know, just chase him, and everything else will fall into place.
And so, and you said you got that from one of the coaches with the Colts. Bring me into that experience with the Indianapolis Colts and just what you can say about, you know, that time that you have taken here, because coming out of Syracuse as an undrafted free agent, you look for those opportunities to get into rookie mini camp and have different things that you can do and different things you can showcase. So bring me into your time with the Colts.
Man, every day at the Colts is a blessing. Just walking in that building and working alongside those people. It's a great opportunity, great experience. We have a great defensive line group, a few vets in there, and they definitely set the standard and what it means to be a professional. And so just watching what they do, and a big credit to Syracuse as well. I feel they do a great job at, preparing us for that next level, whether it not be in football or in a different field. Being accountable, how to take notes, being where you're supposed to be on time, doing the extra little things. Syracuse definitely prepares its players to be a professional in any field, on or off the field. And the transition has definitely been smooth.
When you came out of Syracuse and you go into the draft and it's 3 days and you're there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, watching and hoping to hear your name called and whatnot, how did you handle being an undrafted free agent? And when did you get that phone call from the NFL to have an opportunity? So bring me into the draft, how you spent it and how you handled not hearing your name. And then when did you get that call?
Man, just training, working out. Draft day came. I'm with my sisters. Mom and dad's out of town for work, so I'm just with my sisters at home, watching it with them. First day, you have all the big time guys, and they go through. Second day, you're like, okay, maybe. And third day, you're just like, all right, for sure, this is the day. And just not hearing your name called throughout those rounds is definitely discouraging. You may feel down a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. So, a few teams were calling, hitting me up, and then Colts reached out, and Zaire being there, captain with Syracuse for 4 or 5 years, it's definitely a great decision made. And, just got that call and was excited, and really was just getting ready to work.
And, having that opportunity to be around Zaire again, what does that mean? What has it meant to you?
Man, he's awesome. Seeing him work with the team at the Colts, man, it's like a dream come true. He's been my captain at Syracuse and now captain at the Colts. And it's really a dream come true. It doesn't really happen like that all the time, but all praise to the Most High that, I can come in and there's already somebody I'm, well familiar with and who's worked with and who I know.
What was the last thing you said? I lost you there. Who you what?
That he was a great leader.
So where do we go from here? As I know that the Colts have made some transactions and whatnot, where do you go from here?
Right now, just training, getting ready for camp. So end of July, head up and get back to work. But right now, it's just
and having some of these moves come about and whatnot. When the Colts decided to bring somebody in and then you got waived, are you still staying with the Colts and still planning training camp with them, or are you free to look around at this point?
Definitely free to look around. However, I'm still in contact with them. So you never know. I may be heading back up there. As of right now, it's just staying ready.
So for you, the experience that you got with the Colts so far, do you feel like you've done enough to build that relationship that you think you will get an opportunity to maybe head back up to Indy?
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely feel confident in my ability. I definitely feel like I belong. Just doing all the right things, doing all the little things, and really just chase God and see where all the chips lay.
You talk about Zaire Franklin being with you at Syracuse and then getting to see him again with the Colts. going through this process, being able to sign with the Colts, spending some time with them, and now seeing if you'll be going up there or where you'll be heading. Did he give you any advice on how to tackle the NFL?
Every day, he said, every day just come ready to work and give it your all. It's a very detailed business. So, you know, they're watching every step, every little thing you do. So you just want to make sure you're always right and giving your best effort no matter what.
McKinley, I had the opportunity to come out and watch you at Pro Day for Syracuse. And, you know, I want every single one of you to succeed. And I always want that every single season, as you know. What can you take away from Pro Day? And I believe there was 13 teams, I think, that I know of that were out there that I saw of the NFL. What did you take away from Pro Day? And what do you think you showed at Pro Day, from the individual pieces to going out there and working with some of the other D linemen and drills as well?
Big takeaway from Pro Day would just be, just treat it like a profession, like you would any other profession. Be prepared, be detailed, be on time, and give your best effort. I feel like I showcased a lot of my athleticism there and being able to move at my side position. So, yeah, I definitely had a great time talking with the scouts and coaches there at Pro Day.
How are you? I was talking to some of your teammates about this. How are you able to move as well as you do, being as big as you are? I mean, we say bear and we mean bear. You know, Grandma knew something. Grandma Cynthia knew something when you were born, what you're going to turn into. But, you know, I'm looking at almost 300 pounds, 6'4". How are you able to just work that footwork the way that you do?
Oh, man. A lot of credit to the strength and conditioning staff. They definitely get us right in the summer and spring off season. A lot of it is stretching too. I pride myself on being flexible and, you know, yoga and stretching and all those type of things. So, I definitely say stretching definitely helps a lot with a lot of that.
You can do a back handspring at 6'4", almost 300 pounds. When did you realize how agile and how you could defy the laws of gravity and do a back handspring?
Growing up with my sisters, man, some of them were in the cheers, so they would be flipping in the front yard. And I see them flipping, so I run out there and I try flipping. And then after a while, it just stuck. So shouts out to them. Yeah, we would just be flipping in the yard after school and stuff like that.
What do you think you showed the Colts when you were there for your time so far here in the off season? What positives do you think you left with them? And did the coaching staff talk with you at all specifically about what they saw?
Yeah. It was all positive messages. They definitely liked my athleticism. Definitely doing all the right thing. It's a lot of moving parts, and you're trying to build a team and essentially to win. So it's like, if this decision feels like it's going to be the best opportunity to win, then take it by all means. We're all on good standards. I still have all their contacts, still reaching out to them as well. But definitely the Colts, even though it's the first team I've been with, they definitely pride themselves on family. And, being there and your time there, it definitely feels like that. No one's too big for them to reach out to. You can talk to anybody. And, definitely a great organization.
Besides Zaire, who left an impression from the Colts on you?
I would say DeForest Buckner, defensive lineman, and Grove, another defensive lineman. You know, coming into Syracuse, I looked to Chris Slayton, being a young freshman, and then coming here as a rookie. Those guys really set the standard on what it means to be a leader and attention to detail. So those guys definitely left an impression on me for sure.
The Colts, you've had time with, training camps coming up soon, and there's 31 other NFL franchises. What should an NFL team know about you, McKinley? If we were sitting here right now and I'm a general manager and I have the opportunity to sign you, why should I give a chance to you with thousands of players out there wanting an opportunity? Why should I bring you in?
I really have a passion for the game. You know, I treat every day like it's Sunday, treat every day like it's a game day. No matter if it's a walkthrough or we're going full speed, you know, walkthrough, it's ball snap. So, you know, getting ready, getting lined up, communicating calls, and then just when it's ball snap, just walking through the different techniques. And then, you know, when it's full speed practice, you know, you're treating it like it's game day. Except for the quarterback, you know, he's always hands off. But yeah, definitely attention to detail, and you know, everything matters. You know, so
you love God and you have a strong relationship with God. You've had some time with the Colts. The future is open here. Are you confident that God, right now in this moment, is setting up your next adventure?
Definitely. I have no fear. There's zero doubt in my mind, in my abilities and what's forward. So really it's just staying in shape and getting ready for the season.
McKinley Williams III here with us. McKinley, you've been awesome answering my questions. We do a thing on my show called Rapid Fire. I am going to not put you on the hot seat. I'm going to put myself on. You can ask me any 3 questions, sports or about life. Anything in the world, 3 questions. I have to answer them, and I have no idea what you're going to ask. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
First question, who is your superhero and why? Well, who's your hero and why?
My superhero and why? I would say my superhero of my life, G-Mama. I would say my superhero of the world of comics has always been Spider-Man, and going off of that, the anti-hero of Venom, because he's not a bad guy, and there's a lot of great story to Venom, and I will someday write a script or work in some way, shape, or form with the Spider-Man franchises because I have a lot to tell. And McKinley, I don't think you know this, but in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield, I was an extra in the chase scene in the beginning of the movie.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
What'd you say?
I said, no way. No way.
Yeah. So my favorite character, first movie I ever got to be in was Spider-Man, and my favorite character growing up as a kid.
Wow, I'm definitely gonna rewatch that movie, and I will be looking for you for sure.
Yeah, it's quick. It's a chase scene. There's 5 guys in the alleyway, and I am one of the 5 people. Pause it, and like I've done it before. I could pause it. You just circle it. If you're in if you're in a movie theater, I could look at it, and I went, "Oh wow, I think that's me." Turned and looked at the person I was with, and then looked back, and I was still there, and that was clear. On a small screen, tougher, but I'm definitely there coming out of the alleyway in the chase scene.
Definitely.
What's
favorite genre of music?
Favorite genre of music?
Favorite.
Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Favorite genre of music? It's tough. I'd probably say R&B, but rap, country, and classic rock are all a part of it. But I'd probably say R&B because I've sung my whole life, and I started singing with Boys to Men stuff. I was 7 years old, I think. And Boys to Men, when I trained my voice, I did it not by reading notes. I did it by listening. And I would just listen to Wanye Morris, and I just start to follow him. as best I could, 7, 8 years old, and I'm 36 now. So for almost 30 years of my life, I just turn on Boys to Men, and I try to train myself to breathe, to function, to carry a note, to hold it. So probably R&B, I would say.
Okay. And last one, least thing you like about football and the most thing you like about football.
All right. Least thing I like about football and what I like the most about football. What I like the most about it is this. What I like the most about it is building relationships where, you know, I reach out, and I always hope that you see the difference in me versus what the rest of the media is. I always hope that you see that I care, that I tell the truth, that you matter to me. And when I reach out to you and you agree to do the interview, that makes me feel like you do see it. So the relationships are number one for sure. And the thing I like the least about it, CTE, the potential that it could take my friends and turn them into something that nobody wants to be. So I would say the thing I love the most is the relationships, and the thing that I'm concerned about the most is because I know so many of you, the probability is higher, and I just hope to God that none of you ever suffer. That's what I would say.
Awesome, man. It's awesome.
So I want to thank you, McKinley, for making me feel like what I'm trying to do in this world is getting through to people, because I don't think you would talk to me if you didn't have to. So I definitely appreciate the fact that you've given me time, because you make me feel like I'm doing something good, and I appreciate that.
Same here. I appreciate you reaching out and, you know, just us conversating. It's been nice. It's definitely a good release from, you know, the strenuous schedule and demanding schedules and things like that. So I really enjoyed this a lot and enjoyed your time. Appreciate you a lot.
Well, I appreciate that more than I can tell you. Coming from McKinley Williams III. You can call him Grizzly. You can call him Bear. What I would not do is see him in the wrestling quarters or on the football field. McKinley, above all things, you have the best T-shirt out there. If we want to fix this world, we need to chase God more than anything else. So thank you for that. Thank you for wearing the proper gear. And just thank you for telling your story on Wake Up Call, man. You're always welcome here, and I love having you on the show, and I'm so grateful that you didn't forget about me. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Dan, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for your time. It's definitely been awesome. Awesome opportunity. Appreciate you.